David, why the f*** are you not practicing what you preach? You're a national treasure of England, loved by millions worldwide, an inspiration to so many, yet you won't change your selfish habits to save the animals you apparently love so much? I'm David Rams, welcome back to another video. I don't really want to make this video. I don't want David Attenborough to be a hypocrite, but he is a hypocrite, a massive hypocrite. I'm English, so trust me, it hurts me to talk about this. But David Attenborough is one of the worst hypocrites I've ever seen. So why is David Attenborough a hypocrite? And why is he one of the worst hypocrites that I've ever seen? For as long as I can remember, I've looked up to David Attenborough as this amazing, inspirational man who did this incredible work, documenting some of the most fantastic wildlife and documenting the complex and dangerous lives of all these other animals. His work helped shape and develop my personal interest and respect for all the other animals that we share the planet with. David has spent the last 66 years, yes, that's not a mistake, the last 66 years working closely with animals to create informative documentaries and programs about their lives. He was one of the first people to travel by flight to see and document places that previously only the locals to those areas had ever seen. And over the years, he's gone on and on about the beauty of nature and how we should respect and love all of nature and all the things in it. And he's inspired many to not only respect animals, but to fall in love with them too. And he's done all of this whilst paying for animals to be bred into captivity, to have their bodies manipulated, and to then have their throats slit for taste, pleasure, and convenience. Because David Attenborough has been consuming meat, dairy, eggs, and who knows what else his entire life. You know the saying, never meet your heroes? In this case, the saying should go, never Google whether your heroes are vegan or not, because you'll find out they're a massive hypocrite. In his own words, he's a chicken-eating hypocrite. He's not a vegan, and he's not even a vegetarian. He's been an animal lover who's been needlessly paying for animals to be abused and killed for his plate. But David, he's 93 years old. He doesn't know any better. Bullshit. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for his younger years. Nutritional information on the plant-based diet was pretty scarce back then. The internet wasn't a thing, and it was much more difficult to break out of societal conditioning back when he was a young man. But now in 2020, and actually for the last 6 or 7 years, that's no longer the case. Knowledge on plant-based nutrition has grown significantly, with doctors, nutritionists, and dietitians recommending it all over the world. Not only that, but the awareness around animal agriculture has exploded. The internet has given activists and investigators this platform where they can expose these industries for what they really are to millions of people. The horrors of the meat, dairy, and egg industries have been exposed profoundly in documentaries like Dominion, Earthlings, and if you're in the UK, Land of Hope and Glory. And with all of this, the rise of veganism. People are becoming more and more conscious of how their lives impact other animals, and they're realizing that animals aren't here to serve humans. They have their own personalities, their own lives, their own needs, and their own wants. Attenborough was no doubt a key influence for many UK vegans, and probably vegans all over the world. Learning about animals and their lives is definitely a massive influence on someone making the decision to boycott the industries that abuse them. And Attenborough even promotes the plant-based diet in his new documentary, A Life on Our Planet. And he says that mankind's mass consumption of animals is part of our blind assault on the planet. We must change our diet. The true strategy of our time is still unfolding, the loss of biodiversity. Half of fertile land on Earth is now farmland. 70% of birds are domestic, majority chickens. There's little left for the world. We've completely destroyed it. By 2080, global food production will enter a crisis. Soils will be overused. The weather will be more unpredictable. A 6th mass extinction is well underway, and our Garden of Eden will be lost. I wish I wasn't involved in this struggle. I wish I wasn't there. And he said all of this whilst paying for animals to be bred and killed for his taste buds. Sounds like you're really trying to save our Garden of Eden, David. These statements in the documentary are true. 70% of the birds on our planet are chickens, domesticated chickens, who are bred in the millions to have their throats slit so people can eat their bodies. We need to change our diets and stop paying for these disgusting industries to continue. But David, why the fuck are you not practicing what you preach? You're a national treasure of England, loved by millions worldwide, an inspiration to so many, yet you won't change your selfish habits to save the animals you apparently love so much. In the documentary, he also tells us about how fishing has destroyed the ecosystems in the sea, wiping out almost all of the large fish species. And that leads us to the obvious conclusion that we should stop fishing to save the fish. But Attenborough takes another direction in the documentary. He says as long as we change other parts of our lifestyles, we can keep fishing. Because ripping animals out of their habitat, suffocating them, slitting their throats and chopping them into pieces for a 5-minute meal definitely sounds like a Garden of Eden scenario, right? When Attenborough was asked about all of this and his lifestyle and what he does, he said, "I eat fish and chicken and my conscience does trouble me. I'm affluent enough to afford free range, but it's a middle-class hypocrisy. 70% of the Earth's birds are domestic chickens being bred, enslaved, and killed for people to eat. And Attenborough even addressed this as an issue in his documentary, whilst he himself is continuing to contribute to the problem. Your conscience should trouble you, David. But how is it even possible that someone like David Attenborough could live in a way that goes completely against everything he supposedly believes in? Why do so many people claim they love animals, some of them even going as far as spending their lives rescuing animals in need, to go home and then eat the dead bodies and secretions of animals for taste and convenience? Why do so many people claim that they care about the environment of the planet, yet continue to contribute to the most destructive industry of the planet, animal agriculture? 2 words: cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when someone is having thoughts, actions, opinions, or beliefs that go against others that they also hold. They are inconsistent and incompatible with each other. For example, when someone says they're an animal lover, yet they go out and pay for animals to be abused. You can't love someone and simultaneously abuse them. But in the world of cognitive dissonance, you totally can. It tends to happen when we're faced with new information that we really don't like. We come up with ridiculous excuses and justifications that make absolutely no sense in the hope that we can continue doing what we were always doing and avoid changing. This is why you see all of these nonsensical and ridiculous arguments and statements coming from non-vegans when discussing veganism. Are you against animal abuse? Yeah. Do you think stabbing an animal in the throat is abuse? Yeah. Do you eat meat? Yeah. Do you think stabbing an animal in the throat for meat is abuse? No. Going vegan is the least we can do if we want to help the animals and save our planet. What about indigenous tribes? They'll die if you force them to go vegan. You're disgusting. You should go vegan because we can live healthily and happily without using and abusing animals. So you're saying I should just eat grass and hug trees like some kind of hippie? You'll never see me eating lettuce 3 times a day. #bacon. All of these kinds of statements are symptoms of cognitive dissonance. Do you want me to make a video all about cognitive dissonance? Let me know right now by leaving a comment saying vegan for the animals. The worst thing about all of this is that most people aren't aware of it happening within themselves. They don't realize their brain is pushing them to be inconsistent. David Attenborough definitely falls into that category. But that's exactly how you overcome it. You become aware of it. You reconnect with your rationality. You listen to new information with an open mind. David, cut out the cognitive dissonance. Do something about your hypocrisy. Take your own advice and go vegan. There's very little chance that David Attenborough will see this video, but if you want to increase the chance of that happening, make sure to share this video all over his social media, tweet at him, put it on his Instagram, link it to him in private messages on Instagram, link it to him on his videos on YouTube, on BBC videos. If it doesn't get to David, maybe it will get to some of his fans who aren't vegan yet, and maybe it could inspire them to actually go vegan and respect the animals. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.